live? All right.
Sweet.
Hi. Welcome to Tales from the Pole. We're here with our special guest, Kayvon.
Yay!
Feels good to be here.
Hell yeah. We love having you here. Obviously, I'm Brandon Jeddi. Obviously, over there we have the wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I'm Erin Hart. Hi.
Booyah. Love it. Cool. All right. Let's get right into it.
All right.
Kayvon is actually one of the best guests that I've wanted to have on actually for a while.
That's very sad for your podcast. If I'm the best guest you can get, we need to work on things.
You're the best guest that doesn't need to show your tits or ass.
Oh, well.
So that's...
The night is young, my friend.
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This is
Yeah.
That'll be good for the
I mean,
viewers.
I
like
could pull
that.
them out.
Okay. So here's the thing. So I am half Ecuadorian, half Persian. And
Which
whenever...
is a great mix. Ecuadorian and Persian.
Yeah, how do they even meet up? Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It
How
was in New
Somebody
York.
knew Spanish, somebody knew Farsi, and they made that work.
It was both. They both had broken English, and
Right.
then they got married and had me.
So
It-
Dad, which one's Ecuadorian?
My mom, Ecuadorian.
Okay, so she's got the Latin flavor.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like you know, she's like, I want to dance salsa. He's like, no, we can dance Persian style.
Is it kind of like the Reese's commercial where the peanut butter and the chocolate accidentally fall into
They
each other?
did. That was a big
That
mistake.
really is two opposites.
But it came out so cute. Look how handsome.
Ah.
Thank
He's a
you.
gentleman. Yes.
Aw, thank you.
That's
Okay,
right.
but so when people are like, you don't look Persian or you can't be, what do you say to that?
Yeah, well, we get that all the time. Two halfies
Yeah,
sitting here.
yes.
People always accuse us of faking our ethnicity, which I could see why. You know, you need to have a little ethnicity these days because to be regular white,
It's so boring.
it's so boring,
boring.
and it's you know you could be blamed for things.
Oh,
but
yeah.
As soon as you can say, "Excuse me, here in my lineage, I have some diversity," people go, "Oh, then you're one of the good ones." So-
However, I just read today that white people are becoming the minority, so I get to be a minority.
All right.
Woo, woo!
Finally, good.
That's right, but you're also a woman, so you do have that.
Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
have that.
Yep,
yeah.
you do have a
So
vagina,
hashtag me too.
biologically.
Yes, hashtag. So that's right. That's why no one. My hands are staying up the whole time. There will be no sexual harassment claims
Yet
these days.
I can touch you
Oh, absolutely.
all day
I would-
long, and nothing happens.
So can I.
Oh,
Male
well,
to male. Getting
Welcome to
familiar here.
2018,
There
ladies
you
and
go.
gentlemen.
Whenever someone challenges my Persianness, I pull up the shirt to show them the credentials.
Oh, there you go.
Chest hair, baby. Come on.
Chest
Oh.
hair
Get
for
out of here.
days.
How dare they?
Yeah, it's very interesting when you're half of anything. That's what I talk about a lot in my stand-up comedy show. People go, "Why
In
did
your
I?"
skits,
in my little skit. But it's the most interesting because not everybody has that. So you get to make fun of how those two worlds collide, just like the Ecuadorian and the Persian. And of course, my family, my mom is from Scottish descent, but she's not that Scottish. She doesn't talk like that. And I wish she did. That'd be really cool. Kind of manly, though. But for those of you at home, if you want to speak Scottish, the first thing you need to do is put your mouth over there when you talk. Because Scottish guys talk from the side of their mouth. I don't know why, but I'm about to find out. Because I'm going on
Well,
a Euro-
hello.
well, that's a little British, but yeah, you go hello, but then you bring it way down. That's why you have to wear a kilt.
Bring it way down.
Yeah, you get your belly involved, and you're wearing a kilt. And if you're wearing tight jeans, you get a hernia. You have to get down really deep in there. Now all of a sudden you're Scottish. There you go.
But you're
Oh,
going,
yes.
you're going to on a European tour, right?
Comedy, you know, it's amazing. I started comedy in Orange County, which is where this studio
I'm so sorry.
is.
Yay.
no wonder.
12 years ago today, I decided I
Wow.
want to do comedy.
Today is
Where
your
did you start in
anniversary?
Orange County?
Today. There's little clubs in Seal Beach, Long Beach,
Yeah.
and then a place called Martini Blues in Huntington
Oh,
Beach.
I performed there. I remember that
Yes.
place.
Place
Yes.
is infamous around here.
Well, what I loved about Martini Blues, they had a karaoke bar in the front room when you walked in, and then deep in the bowels of
Yeah.
the building was the comedy night that only other comedians were watching and hating on each other.
Bill Word, right?
Bill Word.
Some
And-
things never change,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
So I would go and you know what I found? Comedy is very stressful. I found that I would you're beginning, so of course you're not good at it.
Yeah.
The benefit of playing like cello or piano is you can practice in your room till you're somewhat good, then unleash your skills on the world. But with stand-up, it depends on the audience. give
Yeah,
and take. So
you
you have to
always have to
fail
have
in
that.
front of people. And so I was like, okay, here's what I did. I would sing karaoke right before my set because I felt more comfortable singing someone else's words.
On
Get that
stage?
in the front room was a karaoke
Oh,
club.
I see what you're saying.
So I would
Okay.
do karaoke, and I'm like, what time's my set? Okay, can I get up, please? Can I do my karaoke? And I'd sing, some sort of a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, give it away, give it away, give it away now. And now I'm, for that
I
moment.
go total eclipse of the heart. That's
yeah,
just
there
me.
you go. I didn't want anything too pitchy. I wanted something I could really get in there, a little Eminem so I could be quick and do it like that. And once you live as someone else for that moment, for 5 minutes. I would then go into the comedy club, and now I could just kind of, I've already performed for the night.
You've already embarrassed yourself by doing karaoke.
Right, and I embarrassed myself with a good artistic, talented person's material. Now I can go do my material, and it made things a little easier. So my recommendation, if you want to try comedy, maybe sing karaoke right before you get on stage. It might get the butterflies flying in formation before you do that.
That's good advice.
I open with karaoke.
Yeah, well, you can't jump on a comedy stage and start like, guys, I need to do karaoke just to like calm myself down, because people are gonna be like, boo. Like at the Apollo, you would already have gotten booed off the stage.
My God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I've always thought about comedy is it's kind of. Have you ever played Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Oh, I have done that.
I've never really played it, but it's a whole booklet of just how to take off and how to land.
Right.
There's 30 different things you need to know how to take off and how to land.
Yeah.
That's stand-up. You have to have like 30 different components to get everything, otherwise you basically just crash.
Right, and the thing about stand-up, it's a lot like a mousetrap. You have to have all 3 things to make the mousetrap work. So you might just have a good joke but no stage presence, that's not going to work. And you might have stage presence but no material, that's not going to work. And then you have to have the good material, the good stage presence, and the audience's love all working together, and that's what looks so easy. And people think, oh, I can do that. And then they go up stage and they only have 1 or 2 pieces of the mousetrap, and they can't catch the crowd.
It's like, oh, it's a funny story. I killed in front of my friends, but you're like, we don't know you, and you have one punchline at the end, and it's not really.
When I first started, and a lot of bringers, that's why they're called bringer comics. They need their friends. Bring my friends. Oh, I got 10 friends coming, 20 friends coming, and that is what gives them the confidence. And at first you want that, but then you start getting good at comedy. You say, I want a whole room of strangers.
I love that.
I want to convert them tonight, and that's that's the goal. I
prefer strangers. I don't want to see anyone I know in the crowd.
Because half your stories are complete lies.
Yeah, complete lies and just embarrassing tales.
Yeah,
just like here's the time I got a hand job by someone who I thought was maybe a woman.
And
I don't know.
And there she is sitting right in the front row. And now she's like, that's not how it went.
I always hated knowing people because I lived a double life. Like, because I was a carpool mom and then I was a stripper.
Right.
So I was like, and they're like, oh, the moms would be like, oh, we want to come see you. I'm like, no, don't do it.
This is basically Superman. And she would wear those glasses and be a carpool mom, and then bam, at night the Super S would come out, and it was in a form of a tassel.
So I do a lot of open mics. I do some book shows, but I do mainly open mics right now.
I can tell.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You are correct.
He's very funny.
You are correct.
Very funny.
One of the best things I've seen, and because you're right. So people will bring their friends, and then they will laugh at their jokes.
Right.
But sometimes, someone will bring all their friends. And then they will bomb so hard that their friends will. Oh, that happened to you.
No.
That's uncomfortable and wonderful to see as a comic.
This is my tale of my first 2 times on stage. The first time, I kind of brought 3 people and did well in front of 45 strangers. So the next time, now I'm a comedian. I did well the first time. I invited my whole office in Orange County to come see me. They rented a bus.
No.
45 came to the world famous comedy store, Belly Room. It only holds about 100 people up there. So 45 are my fans. And now for the first time in years, the Belly Room is bumping on like a Thursday night. So other people are coming, like, oh, now Bobby Lee wants to go on stage, or now Sebastian Maniscalco wants to go on stage, or Brian Callen. Yeah, because now it's Murderers.
God.
Now they have a hot audience, and they go, you're going up last, dog. And I thought, I must have been so funny last time I was here that I'm obviously headlining this club. After Murderers Row, bam, 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 I went up last, and my own employees were like, they're not my employees, fellow employees were like, whoa. And at the next day at work, it was Roast Central. Yeah. Wow, the comedian's here, everybody. Ooh. And
At least
bombed.
This is what, sorry, I got excited.
Yes.
This is what I hate when I would bring friends to shows and they would say, they wouldn't say anything to me because they were being polite about if I bombed, but they would say things like, oh my God, that other guy, he was
great.
Hilarious.
You should be more like him.
Yeah.
At least they were nice enough or open enough to mention that to you.
Right.
What's worse is you go to work and then just no one wants to make eye contact with you. That's terrible.
No, yeah.
Recently I was at an open mic at the Irvine Improv, and there was a guy who brought a ton of people. And then he brought 20 or 30 people. And then at the end, he was doing so bad, and it's just because he doesn't know. So he's doing like pro pedophile material where he's the pedophile. He's like, yeah, I tried having sex with this 16-year-old. It's like, oh God, like that's a crime. That's not. And then by the end of his set, one of his own friends was saying, "Get off the stage!" Like,
that's good. Yeah, you need that tough love sometimes. Yeah. So after I bombed in front of mine, I went underground. I'm like, I quit comedy. I focused on sales. I got my job done. No. People are like, how's that comedy career? I go, I don't do it anymore. I don't do it. and then I eventually was like, I do not like the feeling of like quitting something that I tried twice. Mm-hmm. So I secretly started getting back into comedy, but didn't tell anybody. And that's where performing for strangers, doing a little karaoke, getting the dust off the performance. And then I finally unveiled, I'm back in the game, guys. But that was 2 years later. And that's how it should be. You don't want to bomb. You don't want to bomb in front of everybody.
How long did you go without
telling them?
Well, without doing comedy.
I went another 2 years. I quit for 2 years. After that.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, this is not for me. The feeling was so bad. It was such a slap in the face. And in your mind, you know how you want to perform, but when you grab that mic, the lights are on. I mean, it just all goes away. And here's what happens. You know how you want to be, but those lights. It's like remember. Men in Black.
Yeah.
And they zap you and you don't know who you are anymore. That's what happens when you get on stage and hold that mic in front of strangers who are waiting. And so the next 10 years of my career has been getting that memory back. How am I with my friends in class? Now I'm going to bring that to the stage.
Yeah.
Loosen up your arms, your shoulders, have a conversation, but have a joke to go with it. Because if you're just up there being likable guy, that's not it. You also have to have those left hook punchlines and surprises. So.
That took me like a long years to get that it's like to be like what you said, like with your friends and comfortable and I mean still sometimes I freeze and I'm like, God.
We all do. There's some rooms so it's kind of like surfing. We're in Orange County, that's very apropos, but every room has its own frequency and you need to drop in on that wave. So it might have worked in the last 10 rooms you did, but this wave is different, and if you're trying to do this move and the wave hits you sideways, you need to be able to adjust that and get your bearings and then surf those big waves. And a great comic is like a great surfer. Any wave is going to be one that they can rip on.
Yeah.
Completely.
And you still get hit sometimes, and you're at the bottom of the sea going boom, 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 boom.
And they always say you're only as good as your last performance. I'm like,
someone always told me, they're like, always blame yourself. It's always you, not the crowd. And if you do that enough, you'll kill yourself. So I say, always blame the crowd. This is not you. Blame the crowd. Especially if I've done 15 shows and 14 went great and the last one didn't, that's the crowd. I'm not taking the L on that.
Yeah, screw them.
Here's what happened to me recently. I never have my friends or family at a show, but I recently I took an improv class, and then the girl, one of the girls who was in the class, she's like, "Hey, I book a show. You should come do stand up on it." Oh, wow. It was at an art gallery, and so I show up, an improv troupe opens, and then there's no mic.
Oh, perfect.
And it's to about 16 people, and they're all improv people, and they don't like. There's a division. It's the Jets versus Sharks. Improv versus stand up. They do not get along. I ate so much shit, and I have this dirty material that I kind of close on, and the girl who books it, her mom was there in the front row. Ooh, and all
perfect.
I realized because I hadn't not used a mic in so long, I was so used to it. I was used to kind of being able to whisper, and without that, I was like, I don't know how to deliver this material. And then I went to the dirty stuff.
Well, what are you like holding an imaginary, let's just say ice cream cone?
It's like you can
I don't know how dirty we want to be.
Oh, you can be dirty. It's like hiding behind, like
I don't know what to do with my hand.
Talladega Nights. I love
that. Talladega Nights. But something you were saying was very interesting to me. You wouldn't tell the moms about your double life, and I wanted to know if there was ever a time where your double life crisscrossed.
Yes.
And you're like, you're at a red light, and someone's like, "Hey, I saw you dancing last night," and there's like a soccer mom next to you going, "Where were you dancing?"
Well, they actually found out about dancing from my comedy.
Oh.
And I got kicked out of carpool.
Oh yeah, you can't carpool.
I can't drive their kids. So she told me I can't and kicked me out.
That's like getting out of a chore, though. Is that even a penalty?
But then she said, I said, "Well, are you still going to take my son?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." Oh. And I'm like, "Okay."
Even better.
Yeah. And she goes, "Well, your husband can drive." I go, "Perfect." This is awesome.
That's right.
No, but
you're like, I also have a drug problem. Does that get me any other benefits?
Right, yes.
What can I?
No, well, yeah, you can't bake for all 75 students next week now.
But we were, my husband and I were at a hockey game once, and this guy came up to me and said my stage name in my ear, and I'm like, what? And he goes, you used to dance for me. And I'm like, oh.
Ew, creepy.
And then I told him, we started talking, and I said, I do comedy now. And he goes, well, you were always more funny than sexy. I go,
wow.
What? And like the comedian in my head was happy, but yet the stripper wasn't. So I was like,
And that's how the happy face clown and the sad clown was invented. It's always a plus and a minus to being a comedian. Yeah, that's interesting. And there are always good compliments comedians get after shows. I had 2 ladies from Long Island who came up to me and they said, we enjoyed your show better than Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh.
And I thought, that's pretty cool. I said,
that is cool.
Because as a comedian, you started from nothing, and now I'm getting this compliment. And I go, oh, so I'm funnier than Seinfeld? She goes, we didn't say that, but your show was cheaper. So I'll take it any way I can get it. They saved a little bit of money. They liked my show better than Jerry Seinfeld. Take that to the bank.
If I ever get a compliment, I ask no further questions. I'm just like, thank you, goodbye. No more. Say not another word. I'm out of here. I appreciate that.
Well, there's an old joke, and some of you might already know it, but the old joke is about this woman comes up to a comedian, and she said, I saw your show tonight. You were so funny. I want to take you back to your place right now. No questions asked. Anything you want. I was so taken by your performance. And you know what he said? Oh, were you at the first show or the second show? Comedians always want to know which show so they can do that's more important than anything that woman said. He wanted, okay, what material did I do in that first show?
Yeah, exactly. How did I do it?
Yeah, how did I do it so I can duplicate this some other time?
Okay, I got to talk about this too. So I know a lot of starting comedians right now, and you have been such an influence that there are several comedians right now that are starting out that go on stage as Kayvon.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
When I told him I booked you, he goes, the real Kayvon?
Exactly.
I'm like, are there others?
Yes. There are several. It's not even just one. There are
that's a compliment.
I think 2 or 3 other Kayvons.
Well, for the longest time, I would say I'm the most famous Kayvon on the internet. And then there's a new rapper. He's a black guy named Kayvon. So now I say I'm the most famous white Kayvon on the internet. But now there's like 3 or 4 other comedians named Kayvon. And Kayvon, it may look weird on your screen, but that's a Persian name, very common. It's kind of like the name Trevor in Iran. Not everyone is named. It's not like Mike, but it's common. You might meet a Trevor every now and then. You would meet a Kayvon every 2-3 weeks. Now, Kayvon, I wrote it like that, K-V-O-N, so people could pronounce it correctly.
Okay.
And so I wrote K-V-O-N, and this other comedian in Hollywood back when I first started, his name was K-A-Y-V-O-N. And you sign up on the open mic night potluck, and they wouldn't book me because I guess he had bombed so many times.
Oh, no.
But then one time we both showed up to the club at the same time, and I said, I'm here. He said, he's here. And they go, we're going to have a Kayvon off on stage. We each did our best 3 minutes, then the audience voted who got to keep the name Kayvon, and the other guy had to change his name.
Oh, that's funny.
Like pig slips for comedy. I love this.
Yeah, it was. It was like playing chicken. And I went up and had a great set. He went up and had an set.
Imposter Kayvon set.
And they held us up on the stage, and they go, who gets to keep the name Kayvon? There's no, this wasn't like sanctioned. This wasn't, but the crowd booed him off the stage.
You fought for your name.
I fought for the right to use my name. And I never saw him again after that. Yeah, he might have taken it.
Kayvon,
he probably thought it was really like a real election or something.
Wow.
But now that you've, by the way, established your name, I've definitely seen other comedians go up with the same K-Von.
Oh, no,
that's what I was going to ask you, really?
See, that's why I made it K-Von, so that there's no confusion, and I'm the only one. And it's kind of like Prince, Bono, Oprah. There should be only one.
You're going to have to come up with a symbol now.
That's right. Oh, yeah, I use that one. But I also tell people that I'm the most famous half-Persian comedian in the entire world, which is not that hard. It's just me and you, my friend.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yep.
Second place, not bad.
Okay, not bad. You're the second most famous half-Persian comedian in the world.
Pretty sweet.
You should put that on your resume.
I definitely will.
And if there ever is another one, then I'll have to relinquish that title. And what's the other thing? I've been giving myself lots of nicknames because I'm doing so many shows. I'm putting them on flyers. And so, like on the last flyer, I said I'm the Persian Tom Cruise. I mean, I'm just making them up.
So you're secretly gay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And a Scientologist.
I kind of guessed that. That's okay.
No, I was just talking about the attitude, the smile. I wasn't. You guys went way too deep into that.
You were jumping on the stool.
Yeah, I was jumping on the stool in the comedy club. Like, hey, good to see you guys.
With your turtleneck.
And then the half-Persian Justin Bieber of comedy.
Oh, I could see that.
And the last one I made up, and I make them up, but I don't tell the fans. I go, someone told me that this is who I resemble, so what do you guys think? And they always say, no, don't do that. That's not you. I go, you're right. I don't like it either, but that's what they're calling me. They call me the Persian bad boy of comedy.
Oh.
And it's not the typical bad boy. It just means I don't drive a BMW.
Oh.
And I can't speak Farsi or Persian very
And you don't
well.
have a lion.
And I don't have a lion or a gold chain or enough chest hair.
Ferrari.
It's take a walk on the wild side. And the last one I made up is the Persian Tahdig of comedy. Now that's a very interesting one. This will become an informative podcast. Tahdig. Right. Have you had Tahdig?
This is half TED Talk, half podcast.
I've never heard of it.
No, maybe.
Okay. Persian food is delicious and the rice is so good.
Oh my God, good.
When you cook the rice in the hot pot, the bottom of the pot gets very crispy. Kids and parents fight over that because it kind of tastes like potato chips made out of rice. And they're kind of chewy but crispy at the same time.
I eat that when I'm high.
Are you really? She burned a macaroni, called it Tahdig over here. So if you flip the pot over, you take the rice, it looks like a little castle, and that crispy that ends up on the top, that's Tahdig. And not a lot of people know about it. But those who know about it, that's their favorite part of being Persian.
Wow.
I'm the Persian Tahdig of comedy.
I will say that
cheers.
links.
I like that.
That's multicultural.
Secret, but good.
That is multicultural because my dad, the same way, Persian.
Yeah.
My mom, Ecuadorian. They had the same thing of where they all liked the bottom of that rice pot because it was that crunchy.
You
goodness.
fight over that.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's right. I just wanted the audience to know who they're talking to right now. I want them to be aware.
It's Tahdig.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they know what time it is.
Yes, and now we know. So we can move on. But it is Persian New Year, not to go too deep into it.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Persian New Year was actually 24 hours ago. So this is the first podcast of the Persian New Year.
Oh, yeah.
Persians are late to everything, including our New Year, not on January 1st, not even March 1st. March 21st for you, my friend. We give you a second chance to work on your resolutions, okay? So that's. Are your resolutions staying so far? Have you? What were they?
I can't even remember them, so no.
You get a chance to do them over.
All right.
One more chance.
That. I'm Persian now.
It's not too late. That's right.
Did you make any resolutions?
I made a resolution to not have my phone in the gym. I used to be quite the athlete, and I would never have my phone. I would look at other people. But now that I run my own comedy career, there's real questions coming in. As a comedian, you're stuck to your damn phone because people will go, hey, man, are you available April 1st, pays $500, right? And if that's in your locker, by the time you go get it and you respond, sorry, dude, I didn't hear back from you. Erin's doing it. You're like, Erin Hart? No, she's not the Tahdig of Persian Justin Bieber comedy. So I run on the treadmill going, I'm available, or whatever. And the gigs are getting more important, so I'm kind of stuck to it. But what I would like to get to is that next level, like Kevin Hart, where he has a guy he hired named Kevin.
Nice.
He's
Really?
an Asian guy named Kevin who works for Kevin Hart, and he's like, yo, can you do the gig? He's like, Kevin to take care of it. Hell yeah. But he's just running, and Kevin is he's on the treadmill next to him, like putting the time, the date, and
like an assistant.
An assistant that is like right-hand man, literally on the right hand of me.
Listen, get an intern. They work for free. They're such
I
idiots.
tried that. No, I tried that. I went to USC program. I said, who wants to work for the most famous half-Persian? And this nice Chinese girl, Sun Jun Kin Lee, whatever. And, well, I don't know. It was one of those. So it's not racist if it was actually one of those. And she hit me up, and she goes, I would love to be part of the program. I said, you're going to get 3 credits for your school. It's USC. And then she just stopped responding. So I want to get her kicked out or sent back to China, but because I needed her help, and I'm like, I got somebody, but I was trying to get free labor, and so she's probably like building iPhones right now. I don't know. So she's making
working
triple
for Google.
She's making triple what I was gonna pay.
I have an intern, by the way, and he's just about to graduate high school.
How do you have an intern?
He asked me. He asked me to do it. They are.
How could the second
worst.
most famous half-Persian have an intern, and the first doesn't have? We're gonna have to share your intern. I'm commandeering. Sounds like
please. He was impressed that I host an open mic on Fridays. Max Blooms in Fullerton.
You did tell me about this kid.
I'm kind of a big deal in downtown Fullerton on Friday nights at 7 p.m.
In a coffee shop.
Yeah, but just of the not bar crowd, the sober crowd. That's kind of
well, sober crowd. They'll remember you the next day.
Yeah, kind of. That's fair. But yeah, I have an intern, and he is terrible at everything. They really don't deserve to get paid. I used to
wait a minute. This is how you know if it's a good intern. If it was a good intern, he would be listening to this right now, tracking you, and he'd be like, "I'm offended. I quit." But if he's really bad, he'll call you tomorrow and be like, "Hey, I didn't do that thing for you yesterday, but I'm ready to work again today."
Yep, exactly. He's a terrible intern.
Okay, so we're fine.
But he's a warm body.
I tell him to set up the stage, set up the lights, get everything, do the sound check.
Yep.
Every week I come in 5 minutes before we're supposed to start. I'm like, "Did you do any of this?" He's like, "No."
Wow.
Nothing.
Every single week. He's the worst intern. And that's why I'm like, okay, I can see why they don't pay interns, because he is the absolute worst.
You'll pay him when he gets it right.
When he gets a what?
Right.
When he gets it correct.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's funny.
Well, speaking of Fullerton, I'm going to be in Fullerton tomorrow, and then Irvine next Wednesday. Now, the show tomorrow is called a Persian New Year comedy event.
Oh, cool.
What they do is they have a tambourine player, a dancer, a belly dancer. They have some food, and then this is something
Do they
new.
have an exotic dancer, Erin?
Oh,
They don't go that
snap.
They don't know. They go classy. It's funny because the Middle East is a culture that you would think is very restrictive, and sometimes the women cover their hair and they have these rules. Some of them very religious, but somehow they slipped belly dancing with tassels and jingly hips, no clothing.
It's when the tambourine comes out.
When the tambourine comes out, it's like classy, you know. And they'll be dancing in the middle of a Persian restaurant with families.
A tambourine is like the cello in the Middle East.
And you give the little kids dollar bills, and they go and put it in the girl's tambourine or tuck it in, and she just...
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, how did the most restrictive culture in the world get belly dancing past the censors? That was amazing.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
Like, so, and here in America, it's very Puritan based, so it's very taboo to give a girl dollar bills while she's dancing. But of course, we wouldn't be here if people didn't do it. This is Tales from the Pole, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back from break.
Absolutely. And we're taking 5.
We don't do breaks.
We do not do breaks. Okay. Where are you performing in Fullerton?
So Cal State Fullerton's having me to perform.
Shit.
And so my show is very different than most. It's for all ages for the month of Nowruz, Persian New Year.
Oh, cool.
So it's an all ages show. Yeah. But then next Wednesday is Irvine Improv, and it's a straight up comedy night. So I'm always flipping my brain. Kids, adults, adults. And so yeah, when the kids are there, it's a lot of fun because it's a whole new element trying to keep them engaged and not crying. And this last show I was on, kids were crawling up to the stage like toddlers, and the parents were like, "Oh, it's so cute." And I'm like, "Lady, it's not cute. I'm stepping over babies trying to do my comedy set right now." And I was like, "Can you get the baby? It's like, crawling onto my." This baby was just. It looked like The Walking Dead. Because they're just coming from all angles, and you just want to bash them. Like, stop, no.
Is that the one with where the little girls were giving you roses?
Yes, you saw the video?
I saw the video, yeah.
Someone gave these kids a dozen roses, so everyone had one. And a girl kept going like this in my face. Imagine you trying to do your thing, and you keep seeing this. And finally, and this isn't the first time, one time they gave out balloons. And so kids were holding the balloon no matter where I walked to talk. They were covering my face with like a large balloon. And that's online as well. I put these online because they're basically getting heckled by kids. Not a lot of comedians. Most of us get heckled by drunks. I'm getting heckled by sober kids, which are worse. And so this girl kept doing the rose in my face. And finally I go, "Okay, I will give you a free T-shirt if you give me that rose. Will you come up here?" And she stood up. She came right close. And I go, "Okay, now the rose is distracting, but I want to give you a free T-shirt for the rose. Deal?" And she took the T-shirt and goes, "No deal." And she left with my shirt. She left with my, and I go, "That
stripper."
I go, "Well," I said typical Persian girl, but same, tomato.
Same.
So I thought that was very funny, and it became a funny moment that is now online if you want to watch a girl.
Yeah, it was funny.
Although I've just revealed the spoiler alert, but you can share it with people and say, "What do you think's going to happen?"
Is that on YouTube? Or
I post a new video clip every week on YouTube because I was sick of people saying, "Do you still do comedy?"
Oh my God, I hate that.
"Do you still do comedy?"
How's it going?
Yeah, and so, but once I started posting one new comedy clip every week, I am proud to say I have not heard the question, "Do you still do comedy?" for 2.5 years.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, that's a
What's your channel name?
KVON Comedy. So it's youtube.com/KVON Comedy. And that's my pledge to my fans. One new clip every week. And it's hard to do. Because you want a good quality. I don't just set up a tripod in the corner.
Yeah.
Unless something crazy happens I wasn't planning.
How do you get good footage? Do you have someone film?
So every 2 to 3 years, I hire 6 camera crew. And we film what I've done for the last 2-3 years. and then I chop it in 1 hour special into 60 little pieces. That'll last me about a year and 12, right? 50 weeks in the year, 52 weeks in the year. And then I intersperse it with like that girl stealing a rose. All that stuff fills in. So I can get about 2 years worth of clips out of a 1 hour special.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a fucking professional. God
That
damn.
is, all right.
God damn.
We're learning tonight. I like it.
And then I
Stay
sell
in
the
school
1 hour
here.
special because, okay, when I first filmed my 1 hour special, people were buying it. A lot of people weren't. Once I started giving it away, back to give it away, give it away, give it away now. You give it away 1 minute at a time, and people are stumbling upon it at different times throughout the year going, can I see the whole thing? Can I see? And my sales like quadrupled off of something I was already giving most of it away.
Nice.
But not everyone sees every clip, and then I take some of them down. So they're like, look, I want to watch this with my mom and my dad tonight. Can I buy it? And my sales have gone up on the special.
Fuck it. Where did you record your special?
Irvine Improv was the first one I did in 2013.
So was that the new Irvine Improv or the old?
The
Irvine?
old one. It was the last comedy special ever filmed there.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
It was a really cool place.
I love that place.
Anyone who's never been to the Irvine Improv, you got to check it out. I love it. But the old one was, I liked it even better because the new one is a box. It goes deep. It's 500 people and goes deep.
Super deep.
So you're trying to make people laugh over there.
Yeah.
But the old one went around you. So it was 400 people, but cozily around you. So you could just bam, bam, make fun of people and see their eyes.
Yep.
It felt really cool.
It was way
I
more
like
intimate.
that one too.
On the new Irvine Improv stage, you're also just elevated as well a lot. It's a whole different feel.
It is. You're way up and the audience is down, but the old one, you're kind of in there with them. In the box.
I was used to the old one, and then I got asked to open for someone at the new one. And I had never been there. I mean, my bad. I should have probably checked it out. And I just go right out on stage, and I'm like, whoa! I was so thrilled that I bombed. And I'm like, I never got asked to open
room
there
feels
again.
like you're bombing. You might not have been doing as bad. I feel like I'm like,
I felt
is there
like I
any
bombed,
laughs? And
yeah.
people are like, no, they were dying in the back.
Somebody said, the guy who I opened for, he said, no, it was a great show. And I'm like,
but you weren't getting that wave, and so it's hard for you to figure out where to drop in on that wave.
Yeah, and when you open too, it's tougher. That's a tough
tough.
spot. That's a tough. You're breaking them in.
Yep, that new one. The great thing about the new one is it's connected to Umami Burger.
That is amazing.
They
and
give you all you can eat burgers, and Umamis are like $14 each, so I make sure to have 2 every time I go.
Oh, that's
They give you all you can eat burgers. I performed there, and they're like, you got a tab. You got this much you can get, and I just pretty much get all beers.
Okay.
I got a
like
burger
that. Gotta play
and
like
a
that.
couple beers. So
It's funny because one time I went backstage and saw Russell Peters, the most famous Indian comedian in the world.
If not in exactly.
And I had just done. And by the way, when I say he's the most famous Indian in the world, it's not like I'm the most famous half-Persian in the world. This actually has some weight to it. So I had just done the Ontario Improv, and I was like, can I get a salad? And that week they were like, we don't have salad. And I was like, okay, do you have burgers? They're like, yeah. I go, what's on the burger? They go, lettuce, tomato, onion. I'm like, okay, put that on a plate. I go, what's on the nachos? They're like, olive and tomato. And I go, plate. Now we have a salad, right? So, but it was just interesting. And then the next week I went to drop in on my old buddy Russell Peters, and I go in, and he's got this spread in there, and the owner or the manager comes running in. Russell, I found that tequila that you had asked about yesterday. It was 3 cities down, but they had 1 bottle left, and I got it for you. And he's like, oh, I was just kind of casually talking. We didn't need that. He's like, I wanted to surprise you, sir.
Oh my gosh!
And he's like, you take care. If you need anything else, let me know. And I was like, dude, I couldn't even get a salad last week. And they have the things for a salad. And I asked, I go, so what's up with this tequila? He goes, well, it's so rare because it's like $700 a bottle, and they only made like 1,000 bottles of this. I'm so shocked that he got it. Let's all have some. So I'm like, oh, give me some.
Oh my gosh!
I don't even really like to drink, but I'm trying this $700 tequila.
That's funny.
Russell Peters, I think he not too long ago, I'm pretty sure he sold out O2 Arena in London.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's magnificently huge worldwide.
Yeah.
And in
Americans
America,
don't know him
they don't
as
know him as
well.
much.
No, they don't.
But
Isn't that
worldwide,
odd?
he's probably the most popular comedian.
Yeah, he is.
Globally.
Yeah,
It's
globally.
crazy.
Because when he
It's
performs in San Francisco, they say people would fly from Japan and China because they already wanted to come to the States anyway. So they made that part of the reason why they came. And they needed a room to put all the suitcases for people that had just got there.
Oh my
and their suitcase,
gosh.
and they had to give a coat check, like, okay, I want that suitcase when I get out of the show because I'm going to the hotel after this. And,
Wow.
yeah, that's the goal we want. We all want to get to that level.
I heard in Dubai he's amazing too. Like they just sells out.
But it all starts with working for chicken wings and doing
and free beer.
Right. Free beer. You got drink tickets? Yeah.
Drink tickets.
Absolutely.
I have some drink tickets. Sometimes I always want to like sell them to the audience. Because they're already going to drink and I got to drive home. Like, this is a setup to get a DUI and never do comedy again.
Yep.
Because if you get a DUI, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot go to Canada.
That is true.
For 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Even if you're not planning on driving. You say, I was going to take an Uber. And people say America has a tough border and we're so racist. But Canada is racist against Americans with DUIs.
Mm-hmm. How about Mexicans with DUIs?
Oh, well, I don't know because I don't think Mexicans illegally cross the Canadian border.
They're already here. They're like, we like it here.
Why bother?
They just stick. They're like, we're here. We're fine. But I'm sure if a Mexican had a DUI and tried to get to Canada, they too would not be allowed in.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
That's
this is
funny.
so interesting.
Fun facts.
And you're doing shows in Canada, right?
That's why I know all this because I have a friend who got a DUI and couldn't come with me to Canada.
Oh, funny.
And it's funny. I was like, well, I'm going to be driving the whole time. Nope, not allowed in. I said,
really? Even if you're not... Wow.
Nope. And we were going to fly in and Uber around and fly home, but this is crazy, so he can't go. But I've lined up my own tour. This is so cool. I have a show in Niagara Falls area, but on the Buffalo side.
Oh, cool.
Then the next day, Ottawa, the next day, Toronto, the next day, Edmonton, and then Calgary. So I decided to fly into Toronto and drive across the border to Niagara Falls. Because then I'm in that rental car. And that's one of the things about comedy. You have to logistically... Like, you can't just pick up a car and drop it off somewhere else. They will charge you $1,000 fee for not dropping it where you picked it up. Yeah. So you have to figure out where am I going to land and where do I want to return that car so I can save maximum money. And Toronto was the place.
That's cool.
So yeah, Toronto, I'm going to drive around Niagara Falls, then go all around Canada and drop that car off.
Nice, that's amazing.
It's gonna be cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it should be fun.
I grew up going to Niagara Falls because I'm from Cleveland.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's like, and I dated a guy outside of Niagara Falls in Kitchener. That's my exotic guy, Canadian.
In a year, how often are you on the road?
Okay, when I first started comedy, it was trying to get on the road, and now I'm trying not to get on the road because I love the road, and there's all these great towns. I really get along with people outside of the L.A. because there's a lot of drama in Hollywood, a lot of drama in L.A. It's Hollywood high school, you know. There's certain jokes, don't say this, don't say that.
Yeah.
For the most liberal, open-minded people, you would think they were like, funny's funny, just like, no, don't talk about it. You get to Orange County, it's easier. You get to Texas, they love to laugh at anything. One of my favorite jokes is because growing up, we just tell jokes. They didn't have to be polite. If it made you laugh, that was the rule. And one of my favorite jokes, because I'm Scotch-Irish, is what do you call an Irish 7-course meal?
What?
A 6-pack of beer and a potato. If you tell that joke on stage, first of all, we don't tell other people's jokes on stage. But if you said anything like that you made up, they would call you stupid. And why did it have to be about race? And you hurt somebody's feelings.
My God.
All this policing, and it's really killing comedy. Only if we let it. So I have so much fun visiting Toronto and Chicago, where they just laugh at everything and they don't have so much of a grudge. But these extreme left cities, they have some work to do to open their mind back to comedy because comedians are friends with everybody.
That's true.
We're joking with everybody. And if we are racist, we're really bad at it.
I love what Bill Burr said.
I love Bill Burr's take on almost everything.
He said, I thought I was a liberal till I moved to L.A.
What's funny about, Bill Burr and I, we think similarly. That's why I identify with this comedy. Joe Rogan, Adam Carolla. But nobody says things to them in L.A. because they're powerful. They've got their fans. And what are you going to tell Bill Burr? I didn't like your joke. Hey,
go fuck yourself.
Suck a dick, you know?
Yeah.
But when we're at our level, people know, I have a little I could ruin his day. I have a little, we're not going back to $1 million home tonight with our happy family and a dog and wife. So it's like, you suck and your comedy is dated and you're on the wrong side of history. I hated your jokes. And you're like, damn, that kind of is going to affect me for a couple hours. Why don't you shut up, you know?
You're going to make me drink.
Yeah.
So once you get it big, then you have what they call FU money. We're like, F you. I'm still doing well, and I got my fan base, so go to hell. I'm the most famous half-Persian. Talking like Bill Burr.
That's the goal.
I got the silver on that. Second place. Yeah, baby.
That's right, second place.
So how many weeks a year are you on the road?
Probably 42 weeks a year.
God damn.
The only reason I have an apartment in L.A. is for a formality. just so I can have mail and a place to stash T-shirts, which are selling like crazy.
Yay!
Nice. What do you put on the T-shirts?
It's always okay. A lot of young comics, they're like, I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says my name. It's not gonna sell, okay? Or my cool picture I drew. No, it has to be clever and stick in people's minds. The first shirt I ever came up with is, once you go Persian, there's no other version. Anyone who buys it, I draw the word half. So I go, once you go Persian, and I sign it half, cave on. And then, so once you go half Persian, there's no other version. But then those are not going to sell in Texas. Those will not sell in Iowa, Nebraska, anywhere. So the next one I came up with is a joke that I do, which is a true story. One of my buddies saw a beautiful girl walk by, and he's black, and he's like, damn, she got booty. Oh, my bad, Kay. Sorry, but black dudes, we love booty. That's our thing. And I felt offended. I go, we all love booty, okay? Yeah, this is not a racial... We need to come together. Martin Luther King should have addressed this in his epic speech, because I go, there should be a T-shirt that says, no ass, I'll pass. Because every man would support. We would end racism. On the back, if I can't spank you, no thank you. Booty is an area we all can come together on. It could unite the world, you know. And after the show, people are like, dude, that's great. Let me get that shirt. And I'm like, what shirt? They're like, the shirt you were talking about on stage. I go, I don't have a shirt like that. After about the 50, I'm a slow learner. After the 80th person asked me for the shirt, I go, I should make the shirt. I created the shirt, and that sells like crazy now.
What's on the shirt?
Cool.
You know, no ass, I'll pass. But I racked my brain. I don't want to write that on a T-shirt because I'm a gentleman, half Persian. So you can't just like, oh, I got a shirt that says ass. So I made it all emojis. So the emoji is the no, and then the peach symbol, and the eyeballs, and it's like peace out, like no ass, I'll peace out.
Oh, cool.
Selling like crazy. Strippers, big, very popular with the strippers, the ones that do their squats. And the shirt has, I think the shirt has put a dent in racism. I really
good.
Well, it's put a dent in my debt, so that's all. Take my credit down and.
I was thinking about all the fake asses out there. They're really taking over the strip clubs.
They're full. You know, they're full of like floor wax and like chemicals.
No, they're not. Are they?
They get a lot of women go to get these botched jobs in Brazil or Venezuela, and one woman, her legs started turning black, and they had to like they had to what's it called? Amputate. I was like, decapitate her ass.
Take off.
Her ass like a
yeah, so bad we got to take your head off.
Yeah, they had to amputate her legs because her legs turned black and blue, and they found out he was putting floor wax as part of the chemical to make it jiggly, but floor wax chemical.
That's crazy.
From Home Depot.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
So be careful, ladies. You know, there's no shortcut on the booty.
Watch what's in that ass.
You just got to build it yourself from the ground up, literally.
Squats.
And squat it out, and then you can get the T-shirt. If you can show me a nice before and after picture of some booty, and the best one, I'm gonna send you a free no ass I'll pass T-shirt from the most famous half Persian comedian in the world.
I love it.
I'll just send me as well ass pics. I also enjoy them.
Yeah, see how we're gonna get inundated with booty pics.
I'm
Please,
fine. You don't need to
please.
send me any ass pics. So.
Forward them to me. Forward them.
I'll forward them.
He will screen them and send me the best ones. The ones that look like floor wax is in there, but hopefully
I will spend hours just poring over those pictures, just the jeweler's eye on them. Oh, perfect beach right there. I'm dedicated. I'm just a dedicated individual to justice. Yeah.
I hope these come from all over the world because this podcast is global.
Hell yeah, baby.
Yes,
we can
I
compare.
Like that.
Yeah.
Did you wanna?
Well,
what's that?
Oh, sure.
Did you wanna?
Well, first of all, it's Persian New Year.
So yeah, baby.
I've been releasing. Remember, I told you I filmed the 1 hour special and released it 1 minute at a time.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, this was my second special called Nowruz, Persian New Year, and I released this 1 minute at a time on my Instagram and my YouTube. So I wanted to give you guys a copy of this.
Aww.
It's me learning about Persian New Year for the first time, and all these famous Middle Eastern people, the Iron Sheik, a WWF wrestler, Maz Jobrani, and some various people showed me the tradition of how do you dress, what do you eat, and how does Persian New Year work. So you guys get a copy.
Fuck yeah.
Who needs it more?
I'll take this because I'm a huge Iron Sheik fan.
I want to watch it too.
It's funny because it's a comedian learning about culture, so it's kind of like something you'd watch like a Netflix documentary. And then I do comedy at like the lady's teaching me how to cook, and then I do comedy for her cooking class. Then I go to like the dance class, and then I do comedy for the dance team that teaches me how to do Persian dancing.
Oh my!
Did you not grow up like in the Persian
I
community?
didn't grow up. So what it is, it's an American learning about it. Fish out of water. It's more fun. If I was super Persian, what good is learning about Persian New Year? This is an American learning about the roots his dad never taught him about.
Oh.
That's the same as me. My dad also kind of.
He had some
brothers. He had some bad experiences in Iran, and he didn't really want to teach me much.
There you go. See, our
culture.
family was like that generation where once you moved to America, you became American, and now it's more like, no, we're gonna do our own thing, and it's like, oh, you gotta kind of adopt some of the customs here.
No, exactly. You gotta just learn.
You're in our boat now. Let's paddle this way.
It's like the pendulum swung.
The pendulum swung.
Yeah. Because I was always curious about my Persian heritage, but my dad. They put his mom in jail, so he doesn't like the government. That's what
that'll
it is.
do it. Most people will end up hating a country that puts mom in jail.
Oh, yeah.
Mom is in
every
jail
time.
for having a political newspaper.
Oh.
He's not going to be happy about that.
No, and nor should he be. So you will love that. That's basically your journey, but through my eyes.
Hell
Thank you. Man. Thanks for having me on this podcast.
Absolutely. Real quick, have you been to Iran lately? Or
no, I will not go. No,
you
because
will not go?
I've made certain jokes on stage, it might sound like good fun here, but once you go to the Islamic Republic of any nation, they take every joke like it's like you were running for office.
Yep.
Like you're like that reporter that got locked up and they won't let out. That kind of.
I did a joke about 6 Muslim women that came to my show, and they were wearing the full thing, right?
Burqa?
The whole, it was like this, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I did the joke where halfway through my show in a comedy club, not in a mosque, not in a church, not in a place of worship, in a comedy club in Hollywood, they all pushed their chairs back at the same time, rolled out a rug, and started praying.
No, they didn't.
In the comedy club. And I said, it made me very nervous. Not because I thought they were going to bomb the place. I thought I was bombing so bad as a comedian.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? We should ask the Lord for help. This is crazy. Dear Allah, give him haha. Please make haha for him. Anything you can do, this guy sucks. That joke got me banned from 3 shows. They canceled 3 gigs, cost me several $1,000s, and a lot of haters came online. They might come on now and say, how dare you? You're not allowed to joke about that. But my thing is, comedy is my religion. And on that stage, things that you observe, you're allowed to talk about. And it's not racist. It's not anti. It didn't hurt anybody. And I just shared my opinion in a funny way, and that's our job. So if you don't like it, I draw the line there. But when you go to their country, they go, oh, now that, and they won't tell you till you get in. Yeah. Oh, yeah, come in. No problem. We got you. You made the joke about praying.
No way.
Let you go. That's absolutely true.
That's like South Park.
They treaded on water. And as a comedian, we walk on the edge. If you don't respect that, then that's why you're not a comedian, probably.
Yeah.
And we are, and we're way out there. The higher you go up on the flagpole, more people can see your ass and throw rocks at it and want you to come down from there. But we're trying to keep going, like, yeah.
Exactly. There's a thing I have where where certain comedians will come on stage and they'll try to take these brave stances, but it's 2018, so it's not even that controversial.
Right.
So I'll still see comedians go up on stage and be like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in favor of gay marriage.
Yeah.
It's like everyone
Nobody
is. Like,
cares.
Yeah.
But
dude,
crowds.
I don't know about you guys. I just think women should have rights. I don't know. I mean,
what? Okay. I'm kind of with this. Okay.
Hey, but they did you guys hear? I just heard this today that in Saudi Arabia, women can drive now.
Yes, that was a little while ago, but yeah.
Is it a little while ago?
No.
But in the last year or so.
3 months ago, they announced women in Saudi Arabia can finally drive. And the whole time I was like, what have they been living under? Iraq? That is a topical joke.
Solid, baby.
Yeah, and
I
I
like
hope
it.
you tweeted that. The dumb people won't understand why that's funny, but you got to get a map, and then you're like, they are living under Iraq. Yes, indeed. All right.
That's funny.
This has been the worst stripper podcast ever because we have
yeah,
not even
I
talked
know,
about
we
strippers
haven't.
other than her podcasting. But I'll your
No, I was
carpool,
gonna
your
s-
carpool, stripper
carpool,
carpool.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so we touched on it, but I
Yeah.
will say, I will tee up that I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born in Reno, moved to Vegas when I turned 10. And there were so many strip clubs everywhere. Even the back of taxi cabs had these. It's called Crazy Horse 2.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the
I worked
girls had
there.
their. Oh, you did?
Yes.
I saw your butt on the billboard.
All right.
And that's how I probably developed my fondness for the no booty, then I'll say bye-bye t-shirts. But they all had their hands on each other's butt on the back of a taxi cab.
I remember those.
No matter how religious your mom was or anything, she couldn't make you not see all that. So I never went to strip clubs because I just felt they were everywhere and I'll get around to it eventually. And the whole time I lived in Vegas, never went to a strip club. From the age of 10 till till today. I've never really been.
Wow.
So it was just something that's always around. I also never smoked cigarettes, and I never drank really growing up because I'm like, I'll get to it. It's around. My dad said, whenever you want to drink, let me know. We'll have a drink. And that might be bad parenting, but for me it worked because I'm like, if dad wants to do it, that's not cool. You know what dad doesn't like doing? Jogging. I'm going to try that. Yeah. I was rebellious.
That's, by the way, kind of like how Southern Californians are, or at least I am, about going to the beach.
Right.
I don't go unless people come and visit me.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it's there. I'll go. But
right. Disneyland.
For you, it's like whorehouses.
People spend their whole life to save money to come to Disneyland. It is literally 12 minutes away. I haven't been in how many years? 20 years. And we'll get to it. If it closed, we're like, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you not gamble either?
No, not gambling. My dad took me to the top of a hill and in a thick Persian accent said, Kayvon, do you see this valley? And I go, yeah. One day it can all be mine. You know, I was waiting for that Mufasa moment.
Yeah.
He was like, no, it was built by losers. Don't be one of them. Get back in the car, you idiot, and go study.
I'm one of those losers.
Yeah. So I never gambled. I never did. So it's funny. Being a Vegas kid is almost the antidote to not fall into the Vegas trap. But when I went to Elko, Nevada for the Basque Festival, the Basque are the people of Spain that are like the rural people. They kill goats. They drink wine. They live off the land. They're the farmers.
Oh, yeah. I saw them on Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, they kind of like they migrate. They live up. They're amazing people. The Basque Festival. They drink wine out of the bladder of a like a sheep, and they mix wine with Coca-Cola and call it calimochos. So these people have a festival in Elko. Somehow they moved from Spain to Elko, and someone's like, "You want to go to a strip club?" And I was like, "You know what? I just finished the Basque Festival. I drank wine out of a sheep bladder. Let's make more bad decisions." And I went to the Elko strip club, which they have jokes about it, like, oh, you know, Denise is wearing her eye patch on the other eye tonight, or whatever, like all that.
Ooh, exotic. Okay.
Yeah. You know, you can see their war wounds and so forth. That was my first strip club experience. Was Elko, Nevada. I stayed for about 25 minutes, and I saw everybody that they had to offer.
It's where the strippers go out to pasture.
I think so. Yeah. And it really was out near a pasture too.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about it.
I gotta visit there.
Oh yeah, is that where you're going?
Yeah.
No. You went into comedy, so that's a different career shift. But if I do go back to Elko, maybe one day I'll see you there.
Yeah. Well, I'll do comedy from there.
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And it'll be like the end of Shawshank. Like one day that'll be your Ziwatanejo.
Yeah.
Like hopefully one day I'll see you there.
I'll look for something like shiny rock that doesn't belong
the stone
there.
wall. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but it was just what I thought. When you've seen enough, I think a strip club would probably be pretty cool before the advent of TV and internet, and you can watch so much on. You could pull up anything in the world on YouTube right now, or not YouTube, but RedTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Back in the day, all the guys had our age was a Sears calendar, maybe a Playboy at your uncle's house. If you
had
didn't know.
Well, my
the
friends
Sears calendar. I had the catalog.
It's catalog.
Yeah.
Catalog.
Okay,
Sears catalog.
My friends say the strip clubs are it's like dying,
Right.
and they said they think it's the internet.
Video games and stay at home and pull it up.
Sugardaddy.com.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a thing.
I should get on there.
Are we plugging? Use promo code Tales from the
Pool.
If you want a girl to show up, just pay her.
But and the other question that we were talking about before the podcast was, have I ever performed comedy at a strip club?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
And at Sapphires.
Yeah, in Vegas.
In Vegas. And I don't know how I stumbled into this, but I was performing at a comedy club in Vegas. They said, do you want to do another gig tomorrow? It pays $50, I don't know, something like that. I said, sure. Where? Well, it's at Sapphires. I'd never been there before. I showed up, and it was the most interesting comedy show because they're like, all right. First, we're going to bring out 2 girls. And these girls are dancing. And then these guys are like, yeah. And like, all right, now we're going to bring out our comedian. And the room went down. Like, you felt the energy. It was like,
yes.
Oh, man. And the comedian came out. And that's, you know what? If you're trying to make a guy laugh who's like trying to get a boner, and he decides, you know what, I like this comedian better than what I was trying to do earlier. That's how you get that's a standing ovation.
That's amazing.
If you keep him happy with what's going on, that's a standing ovation in any room in the country.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
I've done stand-up at a burlesque show where there wasn't even a place where the women could basically get ready for their burlesque show. So it was just on the side of the stage. They were getting painted. Their tits were getting painted.
Oh my
and
God.
I was doing comedy in the middle of that.
Yeah. Over here, guys.
My jokes Jerry Seinfeld doing his tightest 10 could not steer those eyes away from the tits. It was insane. Even me, I was like, those are some nice tits. It was just
and the problem now is if you were to go over there and be like, fine, I'll do my jokes next to these tits, they might say, oh, that's sexual harassment. This is my place of work. Hashtag that, you know. I mean, it's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, it is.
For comedians especially, because like they look at your material and go, oh, that joke. Like I do colleges a lot of college gigs. And I'll do a joke like, don't you hate when you take a girl out and da-da, and they're like, why'd it have to be a girl? You know, they'll start heckling. Your jokes are so, you know, mind the times, buddy, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it'll go back to how it's supposed to be eventually, but for now, it's like, you have to say on stage, don't you hate when you're taking out a guy or girl or a pansexual or significant other? And comedy's about economic words, so you need to cut out as many things as possible. So taking shortcuts now triggers. I'm triggered. That was offensive.
I think it's the pendulum. I honestly think the pendulum is coming back. I think
so.
I think it started.
Enough is enough.
I've done jokes on stage naked when I was bombing stripping.
Excuse me?
I mean, like when there were no guys.
How do you bomb stripping?
Well, when you're up on stage and no one comes to your tip rail, I'm like, so there was a priest and a Jew that came into a bar.
Wow.
You should do it using your pussy lips, just making the like a fucking Muppet.
I never finished.
Most
the joke,
comedians, if they start bombing, will get into crazy act outs and maybe like take some clothes off. Like Chris Farley might strip down, but you did the opposite. You went from stripping to starting comedy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a brilliant move, wasn't it?
I'll tell you my last horror story from an event. It was a comedy show. I went up last. It was supposed to go up at 10 at night, but everyone ran the light by 10, 15 minutes. I was going up now at 11:45.
And the crowd's tired.
Tired and overly drunk. And I go on stage, and after my second joke, this girl goes, take off your clothes. I said, hey, it's not that kind of show. How would you like it as a guy if you're up here trying to give a speech or tell comedy, tell jokes? And I said, take off your shirt. You know, that's rude. And she goes, I would do it. And the crowd goes, ooh, that became more interesting than anything I was going to say. I was like, all right, just chill. She goes, go on, take off your clothes. Take them off. What are you scared of? I'm like, hey, security, can we? No security anywhere.
Oh, my God.
I go, you know what? You want to take off clothes so bad. Why don't you get up here and do it? She's like, okay. She gets up, takes off her clothes.
Butt naked?
No, just her top.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, yeah, now you do it. I go, I didn't say I was going to do it. She goes, what? Look how brave I am. She takes off her bra, and she's like, yeah. And nobody cheered, and it got quiet. And I said, wow, I've never seen boobs come out and nobody excited about them. That's how gross your boobs look, that nobody even cheered. They were literally booing your bees. You just got boobies, right?
She went home and killed herself?
No, she was like, screw you. She gets down. 2 women came up after the show. They go, how dare you body shame her?
No.
You're a patriarchal, sexist man, and you shouldn't have made her feel bad about her body. I go, whoa, any day of the week. The rule of heckling is you're supposed to put hecklers down and make them feel like, shut up. You can go hard. All I said was, your boobs suck. Nobody even cheered for him. That was too much body shaming for the liberal leftist audience. And
that's
they were very
ridiculous.
Yeah, no one had respect for the comedy, the art of comedy, the craft. It was all about, you body shamed. We draw the line there. So,
wow.
So support your local. If you're not a psycho, leftist, crazed lunatic, support your local comedy club. And if you see stuff like that happen, be on the comedian side. Be like, sit down. We hate your boobs. We love the comedian.
Like they came there for comedy.
They came there for comedy, and you know, so that we always love when we get a little help. Because otherwise we're just up there by ourselves sweating going, but I don't like her boobs. Why do I have to like them? They're gross.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're watching, you have gross boobs.
Good.
All not my friends. So,
No, not your friends, the girl.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you meant if you're watching.
If you're watching, we love you. You're my fans.
Watch.
If you're that woman who was watching, we hate your boobs.
I have a lot of really
good
woman titty stripper friends.
Oh,
watching.
good.
So,
well,
yeah.
Send in your photos. He'll be going through them, sending me the best ones for the free T-shirt, the no ass I'll pass, the no booty bye-bye, or if you don't eat your fruit, you will not see a peaceful life. I've made a G version of that.
I like that.
I will look over every nude photo or semi-nude photo sent. I guarantee you that. So just that's a guarantee to the people out there.
And this is interesting because you guys have fans all over the world. Go on my website, caveoncomedy.com. Just web search me, Cave On Comedy. I'm going to be in, like I said, Toronto, Ottawa, Niagara Falls. Yeah, Edmonton, Calgary. Then, first time ever, Sweden, Iceland, Netherlands, Germany, and the UK and Denmark. Yeah,
That's
Denmark.
awesome.
Nice.
The fact that I can remember all those countries, I've never even been to them, and now I'm going to perform comedy at them. Comedy is taking me around the world. So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
it brought
exciting.
me here. Most importantly, it brought me to this lovely studio.
Hell yeah.
Tales from the Pole. Wouldn't be
Yay.
here- wouldn't be
Perfect,
here
perfect.
No,
without
we're
these
so
guys.
happy you were able to come tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, you did your plugs. Any other dates you want to plug?
No, you go on my
Anything else going
website,
on?
you find a date you like. In fact, the first 5 people who message me are going to get 1 free ticket to my show. Anyone on my website, hit me up, be the first one, because, caveoncomedy.com or Facebook, that's where all the tour dates are.
Hell yeah, baby.
Awesome.
Erin,
You can
plugs.
find me on erinhartcomic.com. Everything Erin Hart Comic. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Brandon Jeddi on Twitter, BrandonJeddi. I do Max Bloom's Comedy Open Mic every Friday, except for the first Friday of the month. That is Art Walk. I think I'm doing Gallagher's in Laguna Beach this coming Wednesday, and Kush-a-Palooza or something, San Bernardino
Nice.
Nas Center on the
Wow.
28th, I believe, or the fucking weekend.
Ah.
I'll fucking update you guys. Jamie, you got anything to plug? All right, that's
All
all we
All
got.
right. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Have
Bye.
a great week.